Hello and welcome to a special program from the Radicalization Awareness Network on how PCVE practitioners across Europe can reconnect with young people after the stress of COVID lockdown. I'm Barbara Serra. In this program, we will look at whether sport could be a way to engage the youth. The global pandemic has forced them indoors and deprived them of study time and the company of their friends. Let's hear from Dennis de Vries, who co-chairs the RAN Youth and Education Working Group. I asked him what challenges lie ahead for PCVE practitioners when it comes to working with vulnerable young people.
Well, as we go out of this COVID lockdown, I think it's very important to know that a lot of young people, they are online in these days, and they get their information online and they chat online, they interact online. And if we look at those processes, and we know that there's a lot of polarization at the moment, also a lot of conspiracy theories, and that can lead to radicalization because you're searching for the truth or your truth, and you find your information at one source, and then you find another source, and that's a bit more radical. So those kind of processes can lead to radicalization. So I think it's very important for young people that they are aware of those kind of processes and that they can reach out to young people. And I think those are the challenges for 2021.
Well, if we are going to re-engage with young people in challenging communities, sport could be the answer. One program in Barcelona embraces hockey, basketball and football to reach young people and keep them out of trouble. Let's find out how they do that.
Radicalization as an interdisciplinary issue must be considered in the right way. In our SPAY project, we work with different kinds of professionals such as sport trainers, psychologists, and social educators who have the practical knowledge and the possibility to work directly with the target population. Furthermore, professionals at the academic level have the knowledge to apply the scientific method. The SPAY project seeks to create a sport program which includes different sports practices, transversal skills, values of education, mountain activities, etc. Thanks to all the European organizations that will be working on the program, the main goal of creating a sport program will be accomplished, and we will spread it to every European country so that any organization interested could replicate it.
Well, we can hear more from Milena de Murga because she joins us now from Barcelona. Milena, thank you so much for being with us. Tell us a little bit more about your program and obviously, crucially, what it does to address PCVE issues.
First of all, I would like to clarify that the SPAY project is a preventive program. Although it is maybe too soon to speak about success as COVID-19 is testing our ability to reinvent ourselves, we are getting good feedbacks coming from professionals and parents who have enrolled youngsters in the program. Sport and its benefits are well known. It improves self-confidence, self-sufficiency. It has many positive physical and psychological benefits. Specifically, we have seen how young people are not spending so much time in the streets, nor spending long hours in front of a screen. Furthermore, the participation in a group dynamic improves their social support and skills too. So, mostly through sports, we are identifying the needs, working on them, and providing pro-social networks and narratives.
You mentioned it's mainly a preventive program. So how do you select the people that join the program? I mean, obviously young people, but how do you choose?
The young people who test the sport programs are between the age of 16 and 25, and the majority are at possibility risk of exclusion. They are from towns and cities in Barcelona region.
The program hasn't been active that long, and then of course the COVID pandemic happened during it as well. But what is your vision of success, do you think, for this kind of program or similar programs in the long term?
We expect to have an impact on the individual, the community and the society level. All these activities of the program help to establish a group identity, a sense of brother and sisterhood, a role towards themselves and the others, a feeling and level of involvement, self-discipline. This is very important to seeking out different ways to achieve their goals, etc.
Milena de Murga from Barcelona, thank you for explaining the program to us, and good luck with it in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the Paris suburb of Saint-Denis played host to a football-based PCVE program just 18 months ago. The municipality gave the program its full support and allowed the launch event to be held in the city council chamber. Young teenagers got to sit where their local councillors normally hold their debates. Let's find out more from Yann Colombier, who was closely involved.
We organized a program in the context of extreme tension and violence between different neighborhoods of the city. We could launch the project in a few weeks thanks to the involvement of the municipality and local actors, which helped us to gather 8 different neighborhoods of the city. When a young girl or a young boy turn to violence and extremism, it is a challenge for CVE officers to bring them back to citizenship. You need time, dedications, resources, but also understanding and beliefs to build resilience. At the end of the program, each participant was empowered as an ambassador of their neighborhood. They create community diplomacy. And we could witness that it lowers the tension very quickly.
An interesting perspective there from Yann Colombier. Well, to discuss this further, we're joined by Pushpa Islam, who leads the RAN Local Authorities Working Group and joins us from Frankfurt. Pushpa, thank you so much for being with us here. Now, why do you think that sport is such an effective tool when it comes to prevention and counter-radicalization?
I think sport is a very effective tool. It appeals to young people on an emotional level. It creates loyalty to teams and is encouraging self-discipline, just to mention some points. But it also creates new support networks to moving them away, these young people, from bad influences in their communities. And last but not least, they get self-respect and recognition, and I think a sport gives them a sense of achievement, which is very important in this age, especially in this age. Yes.
I mean, you mentioned the age because often they will join as sort of older teenagers and stay until their early 20s. So in light of that, what do you think the successful model would look like? So a young person that joins at about 16 and then stays on, the successful picture, what do you think that would be for that person?
I think it's about getting young people to become more confident and resilient, which is very important. And it's also about encouraging to become leaders in their communities and giving them ability to start their own programs in future, maybe. And maybe as last point, which I want to mention is, which I think is importantly, is bringing together different stakeholders in the community, such as families, faith groups, local media, or sports clubs, and so on.
Now, you are on the RAN Local Authorities Working Group. So how important is partnership at the local level when it comes to running these kinds of programs?
I think it's the main important point, multi-agency networks, because you can't solve the problem of radicalization, extremism, and prevention just by your own authority. It's really important to work with youth and social centers, with security departments, and really have the connections between and to put together the different perspectives on one table and find a solution together. And it's very important to see radicalization as a holistic way, yeah.
Pushpa Islam, who leads the RAN Local Authorities Working Group, thank you so much for having joined us, speaking to us from Frankfurt. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Well, we've talked a lot about young people today, so let's hear from one. Vivian Lada now joins us from Greece. She is part of RAN Young. Vivian Lada, thank you so much for joining us. Now, we've been talking about sport. It's obviously important to get young people involved in these activities, but in your experience, have you found that there is a strong appeal, that young people do react positively to this?
As sports support social interaction, you can make new friends from different cultural backgrounds or different neighborhoods. It gives them the ability to build a strong network around them, and they also gain some good social and communicational skills.
So, Vivian, what kind of interest has there been from members of RAN Young to this? Well, what do they think about it? Do they think it would be effective?
RAN Young members believe that sports and teamwork is really important for young people, especially for those who live in disadvantaged areas or coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. So it is, as we see it, is a way of them to get more included in the society.
And 2020 has been a difficult year for everyone. So what plans does RAN Young have for 2021?
RAN Young hopes to strengthen youth empowerment and youth engagement in the prevention of radicalization and violent extremism. And sure, we will keep involving the perspectives of young people in that field.
Vivian Lada, speaking to us from Greece, from RAN Young. Thank you so much for having joined us, Vivian. Thank you. Well, what a fascinating discussion today on how we can most effectively engage young people. I hope you have found this a stimulating discussion as well, and will join us next time for another in-depth look at a key issue. This program has come to you from the Radicalization Awareness Network. To learn more about this topic and for more practitioner insights, look out for the next edition of the RAN Spotlight magazine. Until next time, goodbye for now.